And we're blessed to have with us tonight Miss Mary Carmikle. She's going to share a survivor's story. So I would ask that you give her your complete attention and a very warm welcome, Miss Mary Carmikle.
Good evening, everyone. My speech, when I wrote it originally, I had said I was going to say this, so I want to say thank you to the national office as well, because you've done such a wonderful, wonderful job with everything this year, between the retreats, the police week, and all of that. So I want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart as a survivor. Y'all are amazing, and thank you for everything you've done. Monty and I were married 23 and a half years. He was my best friend for 30. We were best friends in high school and did everything together. When I say best friends, I mean best friends. He was everything to me. It just took him 6 years to kind of convince me to finally date him, and then 6 months later we got married. So our friendship lasted, I guess. I don't know. But he was my everything. He was my soulmate. He was my best friend, and he was the father of our one and only child. From the time we got married, I knew he wanted to be a game warden. He had always wanted to work for the Arkansas Game and Fish Commission. So 6 months after we got married, he went to work for the Arkansas Game and Fish. For me, that was okay, because just a month before he went to work for the Game and Fish, he was a volunteer fireman, and I had seen him walk into a house, and the house had collapsed, and I had not seen him come out of the house. So I thought, here I am, a widow. Well, he had got out of the house and everything was okay, and he went to the hospital. So when he actually came and said, the Game and Fish are hiring, what do you think about me applying? I was like, yeah, what can happen? You can't get hurt with the Game and Fish. I mean, they had not had an officer die on the line of duty, so I thought it was a great move. Plus, it was going to make him really, really happy. So you can imagine when the doorbell rang on November the 16th, 2008 at 1 a.m., I actually thought it was Monty coming home. And I actually thought he'd forgot his keys. So as I was walking down the hall, I actually thought to myself, I ought to just let you stand out there and freeze your little honey off because you're waking me up. But I did not. I opened the door, and there stood the assistant director of the Arkansas Game and Fish Commission. At that moment, my life changed. At that moment, my life turned upside down, and my world was no longer what I had always thought it was going to be. I would not get to grow old with him. I would not get to retire with him. But most of all, our son would not get to be with him as he graduated high school, as he went on to become a really good football player and a football coach. No more. Monty would not be there for that. And might I add, Monty was 6'4" and weighed between 240 to 250 pounds. So I pretty much just always hid behind him. And when he died, a lot of people said, I didn't even know he had a wife because you never were around. But basically, I could hide behind him, so it was okay. That was fine with me. They didn't need to know me. They didn't need to know who I was. The week of the funeral was pretty much chaotic mess. I had no idea what a law enforcement funeral was like. Had never been to one. Monty had always said, honey, don't worry. Nobody will come to the funeral. I'm a game warden. Everybody hates game wardens. So imagine my surprise as we walked out onto a gym floor that seats 3,000 people, and there were standing room only and people standing outside. So all I could think, my son later told me I was actually saying it out loud. Are you happy now? Are you happy now? Because all I could see in my mind was him up there in heaven laughing because I had all these people staring at me like right now. So in case y'all haven't figured out, I'm very terrified, but the things we do. But during that week, 2 ladies from C.O.P.S had come to see me, Linda Craig and Mary Flo Klein. I don't remember much about their conversation. I just remember them talking about C.O.P.S and telling me that in May there would be a memorial and Monty would be honored. And I was like, okay, whatever you say, that's fine with me. I didn't really care at that moment. We also had a playoff game that Friday that our 15-year-old son had to play in. he played. He played very well. We won the ball game because he knocked the ball down as the quarterback threw a Hail Mary pass. Caleb knocked the pass down, and we won the ball game by 3 points. Thank you. He is my pride and joy. So you can imagine the fans erupted. Our stands did just kind of like you did just now and erupted. The other team had no idea. They were undefeated and they were picked to beat us by like 3 touchdowns. So they were kind of upset, but found out later. I met the quarterback at a later time and he told me that it made him feel better to know that my son was the one who had knocked the pass down. It didn't sting so bad then, as he said. Maybe, maybe not. So we went through the funeral, we got through that. May rolls around and Linda Craig and Mary Flo were trying to get me to come to Police Week. And I did. I went to Police Week. For those of you who are new out here, I don't know how many of you are, I don't remember my first Police Week either. All I remember is Linda Craig literally taking my hand and saying, let's go to this class. Let's sit right here in this chair. Okay, sit right here. Okay, go to this class. Putting me on the bus. You have to get on the bus now. You have to do this. And me just nodding my head and going, okay, okay. Keep in mind, I had my parents, our 15-year-old son, and my mother-in-law. I don't know what I would have done without Linda Craig, and I know she's here. I can't see you, Linda, so I say thank you from the bottom of my heart. I love you. As I sat at the funeral, I had asked for God to show me what was supposed to come out of this, what was supposed to be the good thing, what was going to happen here. So my boss died 14 months later to the day after Monty died. I'd worked for him for 20 years, so I didn't know what I was going to do. I was a paralegal. Our son was 16 by this time, was a junior in high school, so I thought, okay, God, you want me to help with cops, then I'll do it. So I began to travel around with Linda, go with her to the academies and watch her speak. She would always ask, are you going to speak this time? Nope, nope, nope. So, for those of you who've heard, you don't usually ask me to speak in advance. Linda figured that out real fast. We were walking into an academy. She pushes on the door, turns around and looks at me and says, oh, by the way, you're telling your story today, and keeps on walking. So what am I supposed to do at that moment? Either walk into the classroom or turn around and run. Believe me, I thought about running, but she was driving, so I couldn't do that. So we survived that first talk. Thank you, Linda. Again, thank you, Linda. But I began to speak a little more, go with her to the families. And every time we would go to a family, I would realize just how much I love this organization, just how much I wanted to be there for those survivors, like Linda had been there for me. So on May the 30th, I got a call from the Arkansas Game and Fish Commission. They'd had an officer drowning. Could I come help them? So I went to Rebecca Campora's house, met her family, and at that time, they had not found Joel. But I stayed with her that weekend, mostly as just another Arkansas Game and Fish wife, but knowing in my heart what was fixing to happen. And when they finally recovered his body, I was there. I was there to help her, and I knew at that moment, from then on, this was what I was going to do, was I was going to be there for those survivors that come along after me, because that's where my passion was. I just wanted to be there for them. Now, I never intended to run for an office. That was not my gig. I'm not going to do that. Again, Linda Craig talks me into running for vice president. So I served my term. Again, Linda Craig serves her term, and she can't run for president anymore. So guess what? Mary, you're now the president. Okay, great. I'm now the president. What does that mean? So I became president of Arkansas C.O.P.S. I survived. Or maybe I should say the chapter survived me being president. I don't know. So then it gets even better. I have Mama Pat. She starts hounding me about running for the national board. Not happening, not going to do it. Can't make me. No, no, no. She keeps on, she keeps on. Well, I will tell you, any of you in here, she's now the president. You do not tell Mama Pat no. She gets her way. Here I am on the national board. This is my 4th year. I love you, Mama Pat. I have enjoyed being on the national board. I have met many, many friends. I've got to go to different places. Bates Hotel, that's all I'll say. Those who went there know what I'm talking about. You can ask about that later. Then there was this year, we got to go to team building in Montana, and 6 of us, women, took a little trip around Montana, just us, traveling Yellowstone. Forever, those friends, those ladies made memories with me that I could not have got otherwise. So the tragedy of losing my husband almost 13 years ago, yes, it hurts. It still hurts. And I have that 13-year anniversary coming up in November. But with that being said, when I asked God what was going to happen that day at the funeral, I had no idea that this was what he was going to bring me to. That he would bring me to the national board, that I would be standing up here with all of you talking. My life has changed a lot in this past year. A lot of things have changed. Life goes on. Our son became the youngest athletic director, head football coach at the age of 22 in Arkansas. As I said earlier, he is my pride and joy. So now he's gotten married, and I have a beautiful daughter-in-law who loves me just as much. She calls me her mama, her second mama, because she refuses to call me mother-in-law, so I feel very blessed there. As I've continued to grow in C.O.P.S, I can see that now, standing up here before you, if you'd have told me this 13 years ago that I would be doing this again, not happening, can't make me, no way, Jose. I'm still not that great at public speaking, but know this, I love you all from my heart, and I will always be here for you for anything that you ever need, ever, ever, even when I go off the national board. My son, yes, he's my pride and joy, but he tells me all the time, Mom, you've come so far. Mom, I love the way you've taken Dad's death and made something good come out of it. So our mission statement is rebuilding shattered lives, and I'm here to tell you that I'm a prime example of that. This little country girl from small town Arkansas is standing up here before you now because of my faith in God and because of C.O.P.S. When Lauren asked me to do this, I told her no. Imagine. She said, will you do me one favor? And I said, sure. She said, will you pray about it and just think about it? I was like, okay, yeah, I'll pray about it, because I do. I believe in God, and I'm very faithful there. But I'm also one of those people that's like, when I pray to God, okay, God, give me a sign that this is a sign that this is a sign that you really want me to do that. So I knew when I prayed, he wasn't going to give me a sign that this is a sign that this is a sign that he really wanted me to do this. Wrong. So I'm reading my Bible. I get back from Montana, and I'm reading my Bible and doing my devotionals. And I'm reading in Exodus where God has told Moses that he needs to go to Pharaoh and tell him to release the Israelites. They're his people, and he wants them out of there. Moses starts giving all the excuses that I do. Can't talk, not going to do it, can't speak in public. So, do y'all know that story? God says, I will be with you. Those are big letters that day. I was like, okay, God, got it. I guess I'll do it. So, here I am. Y'all are super sweet. Thank you so much. I just want to say, I want to give you hope that, yes, at the end of the day, there will come a day where you'll smile, you will laugh, and you won't cry as much. It still hurts. It will always hurt now that I've lost Monty. After all, we were friends forever. He is the father of our child, so each time something happens in Caleb's life, it's just a reminder that he's not there. But you know what? I've got C.O.P.S now. I've got this huge, huge family of all of you, and that helps. I've also got the Game and Fish. They have stood by Caleb and I through everything. His first game, as I told you, when he came back to Arkansas to coach, several Game and Fish officers were there to support him. Some of them didn't even know his dad, but they were there. So I say thank you to the Game and Fish. To honor Monty, they do the Parents Retreat in Arkansas. They are there to help them with that. I want to close out by saying one more thing, or a couple of more actually. I want to say thank you to the National Board. Today, you showed me love, you showed me understanding, and you gave me the confidence to stand up here tonight and do this. I'm so So I love all of you with all my heart and soul. So thank you, National Board. I'm not even going to try to remember everybody because I know I'll forget somebody. But just know that I love you. I will say this, I do know Emilio, and as immediate past president, and Miss Mama Pat, so thank you. I hope that each of you will take a hold of what you learn at C.O.P.S this week, and I hope you will move forward. I hope you will always, always remember this little girl from Arkansas who stood up here tonight and spoke to you. And my last words to you, I love y'all with all my heart and soul. Thank y'all. Thank y'all so much. That really means, oh my gosh, that means so much to me, but thank y'all.
Ladies and gentlemen, the amazing Mary Carmikle. She told me when she walked up here to start with, she gave me a hug and she said, I want you to know I'm a little nervous following you. Well, now I'm nervous following her, all right? She sure flipped the script on that one, all right? Thank you, Miss Mary. Thank you for sharing. And I also happen to like that she's one of the few speakers you can find in the D.C. area without a funny accent. You know what I mean? Thank you. Thank you. I felt right at home.